Why does AI help some companies so much and then not others? And this is really interesting because most people who are rolling out AI are using it, but they're not getting the outpaced results that they're seeing other people get even within their same industry, right? Like there is a lot of hype out there from people who are overclaiming the things that it can do, but like as a society, we're not stupid, right? Like AI isn't necessarily a scam. People are getting outpaced returns, outpaced results from what they're implementing. It's just not shared across most organizations because most organizations are just way too busy to figure out how to roll this stuff out effectively. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through 4 teams all rolling out AI, all spending significant time and resources to try and get this right. And one of them's getting it right, one's almost getting it right, and 2 are completely getting it wrong. In fact, they would have been better off not implementing any of this stuff at all, right? And then I've got maybe 10% left on my battery, and so we're going to go through as quickly as possible. Now, first thing before I do any of that, I want to talk about this idea of strategic velocity so we know what we're shooting for. Like, what does getting AI correct, getting AI right actually look like and feel like? Now, what it looks like is getting a positive return from the money and time that we invest into integrating it into our workforces, right? So AI didn't exist, now it exists, and it's pretty good. And so all organizations are on the same journey of rolling it out. Some of them get stuck in this money pit where it's like they invest, they get no return. They invest, they get no return. Does that feel like you? If it does, you're in the money pit. You're spending money, you're not getting any returns. The more money you spend, the worse you are. It's really daunting. We need to break out of that. Most organizations are actually in the grind where you spend a bit, you get a bit, spend a bit, you get a bit of benefit, right? So you adopt ChatGPT, you spend your $25 a month. Great, you get a little bit of benefit. I'm not getting outpaced returns, but I'm also not sitting here losing money every day. But maybe we pay $200 for ChatGPT and we have Claude and Gemini and we're paying 3 times as much for our Canva subscription. Great, well then the actual benefit that we need to get needs to like actually jump up. And you know, maybe it does, but does it jump up enough to outsource, to offset those costs? Maybe not, we're stuck in the grind. So what I'm talking about in this video is how to get teams out of that and into the breakthrough and AI flywheel stage. And the reality is if you can get into this breakthrough where it's like you invest and you get outpaced results, you invest a little bit and you get outpaced results, right? If you can do that, you can get to the AI flywheel. It's getting from here to here. That's the difficult bit. So the way I measure this, right, we've got 4 teams, how I'm measuring whether they're being successful or not, because it's not how much they're spending on AI, it's not how much they're talking about it, either in LinkedIn or internally. The way we're measuring it is by strategic velocity, right? So what we want to think about is velocity is very simply speed to a direction, right? How fast are we making our way to a desired state, right? So people often measure productivity or speed or time saved, like they do that metric, but not towards anything in particular, right? And so that's one half of the equation. It's an important half, but it's not the whole thing, right? So what we're looking at here is, say, we've got 4 organizations. We've got one in the dead zone, we've got one in the think tank, we've got one in the busy trap, and then we've got one in the golden zone, right? Golden zone is where we want to be. It's pointing up and to the right. So what is the dead zone? Well, the dead zone is a team who is investing in AI, right? So they're spending money, but they're not working any faster, right? Maybe they're producing a lot of stuff. Is that stuff any good? No, it's kind of slop. And they're stuck within a bunch of like, we don't have processes, or the processes are old or hierarchical, or just everything just feels like it is so slow and you're just stuck in the muck. Right? AI does not help with that. In fact, people just end up generating more stuff to approve, and then the approval process just like collapses underneath the weight, right? So that's like, are we moving fast? No. Do we know where we're going? No, right? So when we're here, we have no sense of what we're trying to do, or like everyone has their own idea of where the organization is trying to go. None of it's aligned. Maybe it's because the owner changes what you're trying to do every single day. And so everyone has a different day's idea about what's going on, and we're not moving very fast, right? That's the dead zone. People throw AI into that kind of organization and things get worse. This is like our classic money pit style situation, right? We're trying to fix an organizational problem with AI. Not a good idea. Now, think tank is probably the easiest solve in my opinion, when it comes to AI. So like finding organizations that are very focused on a particular mission, right? People are aligned on what you're actually trying to achieve. This is usually your startups, your smaller organizations. This is your non-for-profits or your government institutions, right? Like they have a particular mission. They understand what they're trying to do. Everyone is aligned, but just like they don't have the tools or the processes to do it as effectively as they could be, right? We're not actually making progress towards those goals as fast as we would like, right? So the team who is implementing AI here, right, what they need to be focused on is implementing AI just to try and get more done, right? So this is when we're talking about AI agents, AI tools, automations. Very easy to just go out, do one at a time, and then track. Did that speed us up towards our goal or not, right? Like we're just tracking. Are we getting closer? Are we getting faster, right? Very easy way of rolling out AI because we're just saying, did this get us closer to our destination, to achieving our mission? Yes, no, right? So moving from this like think tank zone over into our like green zone, very easy. Focus on tools, focus on improving your workflows, right? You focus on training and uplift, very easy. Now, over here in the busy trap is where we see most organizations who are leading AI, like they're investing in AI, they're figuring it out, like they're talking about all of these various different things that they're doing with it. Often they're a very loud group, but they're not executing against a particular plan or to a direction. And so everyone's doing 15 different things, none of them are aligned. And so everyone just feels incredibly burnt out, right? It's incredibly frustrating to work in an organization where you're excelling, right? Like maybe you're in the top 1% of like leveraging AI to do stuff. But if that's not being equaled by everyone else in the organization and everyone's fighting each other, everyone's got their own little stuff that they're doing and all of it kind of goes at cross purposes because no one knows what you're actually trying to do, that's the problem, right? You're spending a lot of money here, right? So if everyone's like using AI has a cost to it, AI has a learning curve, like you're somewhat money pitting this or you're really grinding it out. Like you're feeling it day to day, you're not getting anywhere, but it's just because you don't have the mission. And this is the cheapest place to be, right? Because all you need to do is have management step in, leaders step in and say, this is the goal and repeat that same thing over and over and over and over again until you get into the green zone. You actually don't need to invest any more money in AI. You just need to understand what you're doing and maybe use AI to like track that, create a dashboard that people can look at every day to keep people aligned. And the last team here is they're the ones who are in the strategic green zone, know what they're doing, and they've got the tools to actually produce the work that needs to happen to progress them, right? Now, this doesn't mean they don't necessarily have something to do. A manager in that environment just needs to look at this score and say, can we move faster to this direction than we did yesterday? Are we doing, what we're doing today, this week, this month, this quarter, is that better than the way we were doing it last quarter, right? So we can continually optimize to make sure that we are improving our organizational velocity week on week on week and make sure that we're not, too overly investing in AI, right? Losing focus of what we're trying to do and like falling down into this busy trap. And like alternatively, right? Like, are we too focused on like just in meetings endlessly trying to define exactly what we're trying to achieve and losing focus the productivity day to day, right? So this is how to think about implementing AI into your business so you can move out of this grind and up into this flywheel zone. And I've seen so many organizations that this is very achievable. This is not something that you need to be a Silicon Valley startup to achieve. It just means that you need to be really disciplined around what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it. If you need a place to get started, you can go to our website, go into the strategy tab, go down, and we've just got a 5-question analysis to tell you exactly how you should be focusing or investing in AI right now.